Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and start recording. All right, you guys, I am so excited. Megan Yelaney, did I say that right?
Yeah, perfect.
Megan Yelaney is here to talk to all of us about sharing our stories, which is like such a huge, vital part of us being able to just get across our message, serve other people, really be able to inspire them with where we've been and where we're going. And so I'm really excited to hear what she's going to share. I think it's going to be a little interactive. I'm not sure if she has like some different stuff up her sleeve, but Megan is a 7-star diamond in her first business center. She's a 2-star in her second. She's a diamond in her third. So what is that, like 10-star combined, which is amazing. She was a 2015 elite coach. She's an SC10 legend, and she is also a 6-figure earner, which is amazing. So she knows what she's doing. She has an awesome team that she's leading of like total rock stars. So I'm really excited for her to share all these goodies with us. So Megan, I will let you take it.
Awesome. Hi guys. Yeah, I'm really excited. I apologize. My voice is a little hoarse more than usual because I had my bachelorette party and I did not sleep as much as I should have. So I apologize for that. And I just worked out. So my appearance, I apologize for all of that. But you guys probably understand more than anyone. But yeah, I'll jump right in. This is a call that I did with my team last Monday, and it really struck a chord. And the biggest thing, like any call I'm sure you guys hear, is really apply what we're going to go over. And I'm going to give you some time to do things while we're on this call. But I've had all of my PS and anyone like I've adopted as my PS send me some of the things that I go over in this call. And their posts have been so much more vulnerable and so much more real. And I've seen such a difference in their posting and their conversations. And that's all going to come to fruition, the end of this month, next month, with your results, with your successful points and people you're recruiting. But it all starts, I truly believe, with how you're presenting yourself on social media and how you're talking to people. And that's something I was struggling with, is how to like share my story and feel like I had a compelling story when I didn't have crazy weight loss story. I didn't have a rags to riches story. But I still had something that people could relate to. And I know that's something a lot of people struggle with, is how to share that genuinely. So I'm going to share my screen, and I have a couple slides for you guys, and I will share this. I'll totally share this with Jackie so you guys can have all this and you can watch this recording. It's long. It's 2 hours. Don't like share with the world, because I don't know if I'm supposed to share it, because I did pay to be in this mentorship, but I just couldn't help it. I had to share it with my team because it just rocked my world. It was so good. It's long, but it's probably one of the best calls I've ever listened to. So definitely watch it. And there's 2 main things you want to take away and 2 main things you want to apply from this call that you're going to do. And I pretty much am recapping this video, just so you guys know. And it's your simple tagline, your one sentence of what your passion and your purpose is in this business. I don't know if you want to mute everyone, maybe, just in case. I can unmute myself. Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. And then the second thing is writing a rough draft post based on your tagline. So what's the number one struggle that you're going to share with your network that relates to your tagline, your purpose? And that's the second part of this. And this was from my last Monday night Zoom. So I actually had them do this before. So some people actually had a little bit of a head start to this. But one thing that I love that Josh Coates talked about on this call, was he said most coaches, like 80 to 90% of Beachbody coaches, are cover bands because they never took the time to find their own voice. And I thought this was such a cool analogy and so different. Cover bands never take the time to find their own voice and create their own brand and identity. But most cover bands tend to be, I'm actually a musician and an actor myself and a singer. And I know this for a fact, most cover bands are more talented than musicians that you hear on the radio. But they haven't taken that time to find their own unique voice. And, think about those rock star coaches that you guys look up to. We want to be like them. We want to have our picture taken with them, or the trainers. We look up to them. We idolize them. Why? Because they found their own voice. They made it themselves, and they're so specific. And something about cover bands, they're guaranteed pay, but they're limited in how far they can really go. They're never going to be famous. They're not going to have their name on an album, get any type of rewards, be recognized, or make a great living. It's a really safe way to play. There's no risk involved, but you can never go any further than that. And so many coaches have found someone else in the company that they love and admire, and that they've tried to copy their entire Beachbody career. They want to look, sound, and be like them. And they keep trying to figure out, why is this person such a rock star? I know one of my coaches idolizes Bonnie Engel, and I think she's amazing, and she posts incredibly. And yes, I think it's great to see how she posts and why it's successful. But if we just try to emulate everything she does, it's going to just not be right, because it's not us. And I did the same thing. When I started, I loved Janelle Summers, and I still do. She's like my favorite coach ever. But I can't try to be her, because it's just going to come off ingenuine. Even if we have similar qualities, it's going to come off ingenuine. So I totally agree. You can look at other coaches and look at their pages and definitely, try to make it your own and see what's working for them. But sometimes I think that's almost limiting, because then you try to just take their post and reword it. And that's not what I recommend doing. Maybe get the vibe and how they're posting. They're not going to take their shaker cup and show you Shakeology next to their face. They're going to show you that's not what they do. Most successful coaches, that's not what they do. But this is such a big point that he made, is don't try to be like those other coaches. And I know we hear it a lot, but when he told me the cover band example, that just clicked for me. I liked that analogy. So he said, because, if you're doing that, you're a cover band. You're not taking the time to find your own voice. You have to dig in and find out what your real passion is. And this is going to take time and effort, but it's so worth it. It's worth spending the time doing these exercises, because all your posts are going to be better. You're going to find the people you want. Your team's going to grow, and everything is it's just going to be like a domino effect if you start this way. So you have to dig in and find out what your real passion is. When people say, I like to work out and I want to help other people be happy, it's a cop-out, and it's the most generic answer you can give for your business. Yes, of course we all want to help people, but you can have a business without helping. You can help people without having a business. You don't need Beachbody to help people. Yes, you have to love helping people to be a good coach, but you don't need Beachbody to make that happen. So you have to have a passion beyond just that. It has to be more personal and more specific to you. So who do you want to speak to? I want you guys to take a second and write this down. I'll give you literally 2 minutes. What do you want your ideal customer to actually value? And it's going to be what you're going to value: confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-actualization, knowing who you are. Do you want an awesome family life? What is the thing my potential customers actually care about? What are they thinking about? What do they need to change in their life? Is needing to lose weight or getting healthier the thing that keeps them up at night crying? Or is it what caused the weight gain? That's usually the case. It's not usually the actual weight gain. It's the traumatic event, or even not necessarily crazy traumatic, but just something that caused them to gain that weight. You have to find their pain point. What's the thing that they're worried or stressed about? If you fail to find their pain, you'll fail to get paid. I really loved that. And I wrote that down when he said that. If all you talk about is your workouts, your meal prep, and Shakeology, whose pain are you really speaking to? Now, I think workout videos are great. I do almost one a day. And I think meal prep and all that is awesome. But that's not, you're not going to change someone's life with a meal prep video. It's just not going to happen. It's going to really, really get someone to be super attracted to you. You have to share that pain point. So I want you guys to take let's do 1 minute and write down what you and your actual ideal customer value. And if you want to write it in the chat, that'd be awesome too. So I'll give you guys 1 minute to do that. I love these: self-worth, self-love, worth and love for you, not finding it through anyone else or something else. That's awesome. Actually, that's a really, really good, Mandy, write that down, like keep that close, because that's going to be a great tagline if that comes from something personal that happened to you. Faith, growth, being strong as a whole person for self and family, confidence, self-worth, and contributing positively to the world. That's awesome. These are all going to be good taglines, actually. So I'm excited. Yay. Okay. So we'll move on. So I want you guys to think back to before you started your health journey. Think back to what you were going through and the pain point that you had that made you finally sign up and say that I'm going all into this. I'm ready to do whatever I have to do to make those changes. Every single coach had that moment where, whether you were being invited for a year or you just got invited and you signed up right away, which is awesome and very, very rare, you had something happen that made you go, I'm signing up. You know, it doesn't have to be a traumatic event, but a lot of times it could be. And these are some examples that were given in the Josh Coates call: losing family member to a heart attack, these are extreme, just to warn you. And some of my coaches did cry on the call, and it was an amazing call. So please, if you feel emotional, that's actually good, because that's what this is supposed to do. It's supposed to get into your vulnerable, like deep-seated reason. So please let go. Like, I think that's awesome, actually. High blood pressure at age 18, going through divorce to my high school sweetheart at 17 years, having a special needs child and eating my emotions, having 2 knee replacements. So I want you guys to take 2 minutes and think and write and share in the chat box about what was that moment, what happened that made you decide to take this step forward. I'll give you guys 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to move on, but if you guys want to share your specific moment, definitely put it in the chat box. So this is kind of blunt, but I loved how he was very blunt in this call. He said, cut the crap. It's not about moms getting abs. It's about getting real with people, how we've been hurt, been changed, and how we are on a mission to change the world around us. Once you get through a horror, it's hard to say that word for me. You have an absolute mandate to turn around and help other people who are going through the same thing, and help other people who are going through the same thing. And help other people who have been in that situation now. We are finding our passion this way. And when we find our passion, we begin to fulfill our purpose. When we find our passion, we find our brand, our niche, and we find our content. And we absolutely remove all competition. I really liked how he phrased this. As long as you are just another Beachbody coach, just selling 21-day fix because it happens to be on sale for another month, as long as that's what you're doing, you're in competition with every other Beachbody coach. The second you begin to dive into your passion, that's when you start to speak to a very specific person that only you can relate to. And we're going to go into a little bit more detail. It's not necessarily, if you, for example, have a child with special needs, I'm not saying you have to only talk to people with children with special needs, but how does that make you feel? He really talks about connecting with the emotion. So you might have gone through a different thing than someone else, but you feel the same way because of it. That's what you're going to connect with people with. Because I have people on my team who I don't have the same life story as them, but we've had things happen to us that evoked the same emotion. Therefore, we might have eaten our feelings, or we might have gone off track with our health and fitness, or we might have abused something, and because of that, we connected. Doesn't necessarily mean it was the same thing that happened to us, but it evoked the same emotion. So just kind of know that going into. Okay, guys, these are great. Yeah, the more deep, the more vulnerable you get, the better. I'm just reading through some of these. Yeah, okay, awesome, guys. Love it. And write all these down, like save these for yourself too, because it's going to come in handy. Okay, great. And so two things he said, basically, your job, you're a motivator and you're a mentor, and you're going to find that specific person that you can relate to if you're honest and willing to share what you guys just wrote, sharing the reason you got into this, because that's the person you want to connect with, because you're going to get it. You're going to be able to relate to them and help them more than someone else who didn't have the same emotional thing happen to them. So right now, either speak into your phone. I like to use the voice memo in my phone, or you can speak it into a voice memo in Messenger to a friend or something. I do recommend speaking it. I speak most of my big posts before I actually write them out. I feel like it just sounds a lot more natural and like I'm speaking to a friend, which is how all your posts should be, very natural and like you're speaking to your best friend. So what did you feel like before you joined Beachbody? What did you feel like after? So it's kind of along the lines of what we just shared. But even if you've only been in it for a week, share something that's changed for you. Something has changed. Even if you've been in Beachbody for a day, I feel like this community changes you. So just take 1 minute to explain that in a voice memo, or you can type it up if you don't have access to that. Okay. So write that, save all this. All this is going to really come in handy when you're writing your rough draft post. Okay, so getting real. List everything that you've ever gone through that's created a negative emotion in your life, no matter how big or how small, from the time you can remember as a child to now. Loss of loved ones, abuse, neglect, high expectations, pressure put on to be a certain way, whether it's by your parents or society or teachers or friends, bullied, a disorder. And it doesn't have to be this extreme. That's something too, is I have a lot of coaches who feel like they don't have anything crazy traumatic that happened to them. And of course they're grateful for that, but they also feel like they don't have a deep enough story. But just because something, I haven't had anything crazy traumatic happen to me, but I've felt down, I've felt depressed, I've had ups and downs. And to me, it was traumatic. It might not be in comparison to someone else who went through abuse or loss of a loved one, but to you it is. And remember, the people following you on Facebook, the majority have not gone through an insane traumatic experience. Majority are going to connect with those everyday hardships. So don't discount that at all when you're going through this exercise. So take 1 minute and write down everything that you've gone through that's created a negative emotion in your life right now. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next one. And Mandy, just to like point out, you don't have, this is totally up to you. Like you don't have to share everything that's happened to you. I actually have a coach. I'm gonna share her post, not in this call, but I'm gonna get it and I'll add it to the PowerPoint for you guys because she did this exercise and she was very scared to share what happened to her. And she actually had to block some people from seeing her post because she didn't want her mom to see her post and things like that. Because, you know, you have to be a little careful sometimes with certain people. So I get that. Share what you can, what you're comfortable sharing, but just know the more vulnerable you get, the more uncomfortable you get, the better, the more people you're going to help and the better your business is going to be. It's just how it is. I know Anita Myron is a really good person to follow for this. She gets so vulnerable, so deep, things that she really probably didn't ever wants to share, but because she is sharing, she's helping so many people. And her business is amazing because of it. So just know that kind of goes hand in hand. It's terrifying. And, you know, everyone has different levels that they can legally share too. I know that that's something. So you might have to edit it for you, but just kind of know that going in. This is totally up to you. You know, no one's making you do anything. Okay, so the next thing is I want you guys to take a second to write your tagline based on this. So for example, one of my tagline is helping people find their true passion and realize that they don't have to settle, because that was my struggle. That was my reason really for coaching. It wasn't physical for me. It was more, I was settling in a career that I just thought I had to do. And I was put pressure on that I had to do it. And even though I liked it, it didn't fulfill me like this did. It didn't give me the life I want like this did. And I know so many people who are in 9-to-5 jobs and in careers that they just don't want to be in, and they feel like they have to just settle for it. And that is my passion. Those are the people I want to work with and help them get out of that funk. So my coach, Andrea, I did this exercise with her, and hers was helping moms realize they can have a passion beyond being a mom. That's not their only identification. And see how like clean and just simple that is. And of course, out of this tagline, there's going to be more to it. It's not necessarily just going to be that one thing, but that's going to be your main passion, your main purpose with this business. So take a second based on your story and based on your struggles you just listed, and try to write a tagline. I'll give you guys like a couple of minutes to do that, because this is going to really be what's going to kind of shape a lot of your posts from now on. You guys can like read through some of these examples, if you need some help. One really quick thing I just want to point out, like this one, helping people to find themselves in life. This was from someone who gave an example of how she was abused as a kid and she lost herself. She literally felt like she lost herself. She didn't know who she was. And then someone else used the same tagline. They didn't go through the same thing. They went through a really hard breakup and they felt like they lost themselves in that relationship. So again, it's not the same events that happened, but they both felt the same and therefore they connected. And those are two people that will work really well together. So just kind of know that also going in. I know I mentioned it earlier, but it doesn't have to be the same exact event that happened. That's going to be hard to find the same exact event all the time, but the emotion that it evoked for you. Okay, guys, and like you girls were saying, it's going to take some time, and it might be easier to do it off the call. So don't feel like you have to do it right the second, but make sure you do this exercise. And it doesn't have to be perfect; it might change over time, and that's something like I think Jackie and I'm totally down to help you guys too find as we go on, like after this call. Try to pinpoint it, and it's not necessarily like you're going to be sharing this tagline with anyone. It's just going to help you have a purpose. It's going to help you shape your posts. It's going to help you talk to the person you want to talk to more specifically. So definitely just keep that in mind. And I love this, helping other people find their inner strength and self-worth. I think that's great, Sarah. Exactly, like what happened to you? What did you feel like after that happened? What, were you lost? Did you feel like that? I think that's perfect, actually. I'm sure you lost a lot of strength, and it lost self-worth. And that's something that so many people can identify with. So that's right on track. I think that's great. And Mandy, I love that. Helping women realize you don't have to rely on something else to validate that you're worthy. I think that's perfect, honestly. So, but yeah, just practice this. Definitely do this after, and I would send it to your upline and Jackie, whoever's your upline diamond, because this is definitely something you want them to know, because they're your coaches. So they want to know what you've gone through and what your trigger is too. What's going to motivate you. So I'm going to only read through like 2 of these, just because I did include like 4 so you guys can look at examples, but just for time's sake. So from those taglines, Josh Coates was really awesome with turning those taglines into posts. So when you watch that video, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, he's a magician, because it was incredible. He did it on the spot, and I wish I could do that, but I'm not that great at it yet. But he literally took someone's tagline and their story and turned it into an amazing post. So this is an example of someone who was in an abusive relationship and was eating their emotions. I was in an abusive relationship for many years. During that time, I gained a lot of weight. I lost my confidence. I started devaluing myself. I stopped caring. I started worrying more about what everyone else thought of me instead of taking care of myself. But there was a point when I realized I either had to make a change or I was going to be stuck in this life forever. And I decided that I was going to do the work no matter what it took to fix myself. It didn't happen overnight. It happened one day at a time, but it happened one day at a time because I was willing to invest in myself and decided that I was worth it. Are you someone that maybe feels like I did, that you're no longer valuable, that you're no longer worth it, but you want to make a change? Would you comment below or shoot me a message? And I would love to talk to you about helping you get started in making the changes that you want to make. I'm here for you and I want to help. Versus Summer Slim Down Challenge. Like, he was kind of making fun of those. And I'm like, we've all done it. I've done it. I did it this summer, and changing the titles of your challenge groups and just changing the way you're thinking of these things, like getting your life back support group. That's an amazing, or getting your self-worth back, or self-love, or whatever your main focus is, make that the title of your challenge group. He talks about that too, and I'll go into that in a second. But how powerful is this? I just think it puts it out there. It's awesome. And again, I'm going to share my coach, Jasmine. She posted she's had a crazy life, crazy life. And she was very nervous to share it. And I told her she didn't have to, but she did. And she got to Success Club the next day. I don't think it was coincidence that happened. But she also I think she had over 100 personal messages in her inbox after she posted that, from people saying, I can't believe that's what you went through. I've went through something like that, similar. All these people that gave her so much credit for posting that. So I know it's terrifying, and everyone is going to do it at their own time and at their own level. You might share a lot, you might share a little. But the more you do, I promise, the more your business is going to grow and the more you're going to help people. So I just think this is a great example. So I'm not going to have everyone write their rough draft post right now, because that takes time and you want to, be able to speak it. I recommend, again, using your phone and speaking into a voice memo. I think it's just going to be much more natural instead of just sitting down and typing, but it depends how you work. So this is one example that I thought was amazing that he shared. Another one, I'll share this one. So this is someone, she was a mom, and she is a mom, and she said her scenario, her pain point was she was in mountains of debt. She lost her home and she lost cars due to medical bills. So he put this post up, man, times are rough. We were piled full of debt and we had so many medical bills. Here we go. I'm not sure how many of you have had a family member go through a tragedy But so many medical bills get piled up. We lost our homes, we lost our cars, and I don't even like to share stuff like this on social media, but I have to, because I know that there's someone else out there who was maybe stuck in the spot I was stuck in. And you might need hope, and you might need to know that there is something better for you, that you can come back and that you can build a life of your dreams. For the last few years, I've been working from home with my family, doing something that I love and that I'm passionate about, and I have been able to start making steps and making changes towards paying off that debt. And I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Are you someone who's been looking for the light at the end of the tunnel? I'd love to help you get started. Could you just comment below or shoot me a message, and we can chat about how we can help get you started versus mom bosses wanted, which I've done too. So, things like that. And you guys just kind of see how, just from your tagline and from your story, I know this is like off the cuff because he's just really good at that. But you will, the more you work on your post and you send it to your upline and you guys work on it together, the more you paint that picture and then ask them if they feel the same way. If you're doing Facebook ads at all, these are amazing Facebook ads too. You're like doing the work for your ads pretty much as well. So this is just a good exercise for everything for when you start advancing and how you market yourself as well. So I'm not going to read all this, but this is another scenario, and you guys, I will totally share this with you all so you can read this through. But this is another one, a girl who had a bipolar disorder specifically, and it's an amazing post. He turned it into an incredible post. So an example though from that her struggle and how he turned it into a post, instead of, Summer Slim Down, he said, I want to invite you to my Taking Your Life Back support group. That's the name of her challenge group. It's different. It's not Summer Slim Down. It's not, getting a New Year, New You, which is one of my challenge group names. I'm just trying to think of like spring into summer, all those typical things. Hers is specifically Taking Your Life Back support group. How much more powerful is that? That says exactly what the type of person she wants to help, the type of group it's going to be, what they're going to focus on, because personal development is so key. We know that with our coaching business, but also with challenge groups. I mean, fitness is 90% mental. It really is. And if you can really, really get your challengers on personal development, then they're going to be much more likely to stick to their program and their shakes and their meal plan. Okay, great. So that's something too, is like after this, another, besides writing your rough draft, your other call to action is to write out a list of challenge group names that you think would identify with your tagline and your rough draft post. Okay, this is another one you can read through later. The example of someone who was abused as a child and gained weight and went into a depression because of it. So again, the action step for this call is really write your rough draft post based on your pain point moment for why you started Beachbody. And this is an email that I've actually been sending out when I've been talking to people and inviting them to a challenge group. I ask them a series of questions. I ask them like, what makes you interested? What are your fitness goals? Why is that your goal? How would you feel if you accomplished that? What could you do if you accomplished that versus now? Like I really dig deep and asking what's your nutrition like? Do you struggle with portion control? Have you fallen off track? All this stuff. I can share my questions with you guys if you want. But after I do that now, and they say, it seems like they're ready and they're ready to make a change, I send them this. And I literally, this is new. I've been copying and pasting this, and I've signed up 3 people since the last call I did with this. And it's simple. He breaks it down and he's just like, I'd love to help you. Let me share with you the few things I had to do to make the changes. 1, personal development. 2, take time every day to work out and eat healthy. 3, I had to surround myself with people that were going to keep me on track and committed to those things. Here's the thing about my group. We're all going to go through a book together that's going to help us get our mind right. Health and fitness is 90% emotional, 10% physical. Can you get over the emotional battle in your head to actually press play and do the thing? And I personally share the compound effect with my challengers. I have a PDF version. If you guys don't have that, I can share that with you. So it's not like we even have to have them buy a book. They don't have to. There's a PDF version that we give them. Number 2, you're going to get a workout plan. It's a workout that you can do from home. You don't have to drive to a gym, and it takes about 30 minutes. No matter what program they're doing, every program now is 30 minutes pretty much. So that can kind of work with anything that you want, you think that would be right for them. Number 3, you're going to get a specific meal plan that comes with a very specific superfood supplement that I use every day. It fuels my body and gives me what I need. Number 4, you'll be included in the support group where we all hold each other accountable. Here's the thing. You could join a gym membership. Are you going to have support? Nope. You can get a personal trainer. You'll see them 1 hour out of the day. But what do you do for the other 23 hours? By the way, a cheap personal trainer will run you $600 a month. My group, it's $140 for the first month, $130 after that, less if you sign up as a discount coach. Let me see some of the questions in the chat box really quick. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's been working really well. Then, you know, if they need to see a video, I would just send them the promo video for whatever program you think would be best for them. But the majority of the time, I do set people up with 21 Day Fix or Lately Country Heat if there's someone who's really new to working out and just wants something fun. Those are the two I've pretty much been going with. If there's someone who's been working out forever and they have a good basis of fitness, then I might do 21 Day Fix Extreme or Hammer and Chisel. But my team and I, we've been sending out these detailed emails, and they're great. But I think this is a little bit better because it really focuses on the personal development and doesn't get as specific where they can have more objections. The more vague-ish you keep it, the less objections they can have, I find. Yes, Mandy, this is for my paid group. Mm-hmm. So change. Oh, and that's actually a good point, Mandy, that you just said. I actually have a personal development and it's called PD and Push-Up free group running, and it's ongoing. And we do push-ups and we do personal development, and I provide YouTube videos and the compound effect and things like that. And I signed up 2 people so far from that free group as challengers because they're like, this has been such a game changer for me because of my mindset. And I swear that's where it starts. If they can get their mindset going and get into that really positive and just they feel like great about the community, they're going to wrap their head around paying $140 for a challenge pack. It's all about your mindset. We know that the second we shift that. So that's, I think, where people like the clean eating groups, that's great. But the clean eating group is not going to necessarily get people in the right mindset to keep up with clean eating, you know? So I find that the personal development free group that I'm running is more successful than my clean eating groups. And I think I'm just pretty much going to just stick to that from now on. Yeah. Okay, cool. So change the way you think of posting. From now on, when you wake up in the morning, I want you guys to think, today I am me. I am a motivator and a mentor, and share your tagline. So I am helping women take charge of their life. You're no longer limited to just workout videos and meal prep. Now, you guys might not be just doing that. You might be posting lots of great things, and that's awesome. But I have a lot of coaches, and even myself occasionally, where I'm pretty much just posting workout videos and things. I happen to love working out, and that's actually a big part of my page and part of my passion is helping people find a workout that they love. But not every coach loves working out, and that's not their thing, and that's okay. That's what's great about this business. My rockstar coach, Allie, she likes working out, but that's not her thing at all. That's not like her main focus. So she doesn't post about it all the time. So you have to think of what else you can share that relates to your story, how you can inspire someone who's gone through what you've gone through. What could you say to help women take charge of their life or get over that struggle? Or like you guys were saying, find self-love. Like every day you should share something that will inspire them to get over that pain point. So when you start speaking that language, you start speaking about what people actually give a crap about. You start speaking to the person that you want to attract and help. And it's way more deep than a workout or a meal prep video. So this is an example that Josh gave us about how to incorporate this into your daily posting. You want this to be, your page should be a constant sneak peek into coaching. And they talked about this at Summit, and I loved it. I went to the Bonnie Engel and Amy Silverman lecture about this. And your whole page should be like that, and not necessarily all super deep every day, because they don't want the woe is me when you're just constantly sharing your struggles. That's not the point of it, but you should share a little bit of it every single day. So he used an example for Monday, Motivation Monday, motivational thought or story about someone else that's been through what you've been through. For all my women out there who've struggled with whatever it is, do me a favor and post your favorite motivational quote below. I love that. Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, before, after. That's when you'll get real with your story. It can be a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial transformation, not just limited to physical. But a lot of the times your physical transformation will have text about your mental transformation, because like we all know, it's more about your mindset, and that's when you start to lose the weight, and that's when you start to create these healthy habits. Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, huge shout out to this woman right here who struggled with, and you highlight a challenger, you highlight a coach on your team, you highlight an upline, it doesn't matter who, but someone who is just doing great because of Beachbody, because of the support you've given them. And Thursday, Throwback Thursday, you're going to get real with your story, do one of your rough draft posts or a live video. Live videos are huge. Highly recommend going live once a week and sharing some of your biggest tips on how you got through your struggle or how you're getting through it. Friday, he just did an example, which I thought was cute, Flex Friday. I can't believe 5 years ago I couldn't stand to look in the mirror, and now I'm showing my guns. I just thought that was funny. And obviously not exactly this, guys, but you're going to make it for you. But I just think this is a great example of how you can share a little bit of your story every single day. And then, for a live video example is I want to share with you how personal development has changed my life. Now, let me ask you this. For those of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in. In this life, is this life heading where you want to go? Are you making the changes in your life that you actually want to make? If not, I want to help. Personal development has been a huge part of my journey. I run groups for personal development as part of what we do. We also take time to invest in our health and fitness and surround ourselves with people who want to do the same. Do you need help? Do you need support? Because I know I did. I know I fell a lot. I needed others to help me get back up when I did. If you need support like I did, shoot me a message and let's just chat. Let's chat about the details of this group. And this could be a great live video for a free personal development group. It doesn't have to be just for your paid group. And then once a month, he said, really share your full-blown story and give top tips on living through your struggle, and a big closer invite for people to sign up for your next group. Understand where your values line up with other people's values. You're not limited to working out, eating healthy, although that is part of your process. You need to find your own specific voice and language. But I don't have a deep story. That's something a lot of coaches say. And he said, stop. You're creating competition when you say that. Your story doesn't have to be as powerful or painful as someone else's. It's your story. To you, it's your pain. As long as you share your story, you find your niche. The second you try to become someone else's story, you create competition and you're done for. Do not compete. Find who you are, what you do, and dominate that, and don't worry about anyone else. I don't care if you lost 2 pounds. If you feel better, healthier, and happier, then that's an incredible transformation. Again, think, what did you feel like before Beachbody? What did you feel like after? I think it's why I love speaking on other calls, and I love when other leaders like Jackie speak on my team calls. It just shows you guys we're not in competition with each other. There's plenty of people to go around, and Jackie's going to speak to someone that I can't necessarily relate to. And same thing, I'm going to speak to someone that she can't necessarily relate to. And it's an abundant mentality that a lot of coaches don't have, I think. And I know I didn't when I started. I did see other coaches as competition. I went to Summit and I was like, look at all this competition, And now it's such an opposite mindset. It's like, no, there's so many people out there who need help. Having that abundant mindset, you want to share what's working for you. I share my scripts. I share everything with any leader who wants it, because I know that, the person I'm going to relate to is going to need my help because of my story, not someone else's. So I think when you switch that mindset, you get over that competition factor. So and I don't know if anyone's like me, when I started, I compared myself to a lot of coaches and a lot of top coaches, and I still find myself do that occasionally. It's hard not to. But the second you get rid of that, you truly focus on yourself, it's just so much more, and the people obviously that you're going to help, it's so much more enjoyable, and you don't get as stressed out about comparing yourself to other coaches. So Josh Coates actually used an example. He's like, I didn't have weight to lose. I was a scrawny guy. And a lot of people would be like, well, that's not an emotional story. But for him, it was. He said he used to be told, you're not a man. His brother, I won't say this word, but his brother told him he was that. Combined with the school bullying, he didn't feel good. Health and fitness and getting stronger helped him be more confident and helped him feel like a man. It feels so good to have that confidence and feel like I can protect my kids. I can pick up 3 kids at a time, run them out of a burning building. Just that shift in confidence is all the difference in the world. So again, something super simple like feeling scrawny. Now he's super confident and he feels like he can be a huge protector to his kids. That's big. That's a big deal to him. It might not be a 250-pound weight loss, but that's a huge deal to him, and other people will connect with that. So find the emotion. What did everything that happened to you do emotionally to you? That's the one thing to hit on. People may have different specific stories, but feel the same emotion because of it. The act doesn't actually matter. It's the emotion you felt after that matters and unites people, like I was talking about before. Talk about the emotional side of your story if you can't legally talk about specific details. For example, if you hate your job and you want to quit it, but your boss follows you or something, no one can legally stop you from talking about being depressed or being overweight, etc. You can share the way you used to feel and what you feel like now, even if you can't share the specific incident. So this is one of my coach's examples. She thought she didn't have a deep story at all. And I started to ask her, well, how did you feel because of this, 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 this? And then she had all these emotions. And I was like, you know how many people feel like this? bored, restless, pessimistic, negative, helpless, stuck, unfulfilled, like something was missing and incomplete. She has a beautiful family. She had a secure job, but she still felt all these things because her job wasn't fulfilling to her and it wasn't what she really wanted to do. And she started to get negative. She started to be surrounded by negative coworkers. And, you know, just because you're not, you don't have a horror story happen to you doesn't mean you have to settle in a job you hate. And that was her thing. So, you know, we really worked through that because she felt like she didn't have as much of a story to share. And I'm like, how many people can relate to all of these adjectives? Lots of people. And that's what her posts are going to be now. They're going to be relating to that and helping people see themselves in her story. See like, oh, I'm bored, I'm restless, I'm pessimistic, and I'm negative right now, and I don't want to be. Look what happened to her. Look at the transformation she went through. So again, specific event versus emotion, what you went through created. So example, maybe not being able to conceive or neglected as a child. Two different things, you know, that's very two different incidences that happened, but they might both struggle with anxiety, confidence, and self-doubt from both of those incidences. Your story might be losing 70 pounds and having high blood pressure in the past, but your passion is helping women become confident to get rid of anxiety and self-doubt. It doesn't mean every person you help has to have 70 pounds to lose, but they might be someone who has to actually gain weight and maybe had an eating disorder, but they just lost their self-confidence and they're anxious and they have self-doubt. But you can still help them because you felt those things. The trunk, he talks about having like your tree trunk is the specific thing that you're trying to help people create in their life, your tagline that we talked about. But the branches and the things that burst out are everything that will go off of that. So you might love fitness, you might love health, you might love motivation, tips to deal with it. You don't have to just talk about that one thing. You might still post workout videos. You might still post meal prep and recipes. Those are all branches of your one tree trunk of your tagline. I hope that makes sense. It doesn't have to just be constantly, you know, like we said, it shouldn't just be about your workouts and your recipes, but it shouldn't also just be about your struggles all the time. You know, you have to have a nice blend of everything, but it should all have that kind of same vibe and going towards your tagline because you really want to always get that message out. So your action call from this is to watch the video that's provided in this, take your own notes, write down your pain point, what your pain point moment was to join your Beachbody or what it became for you. Write your tagline right after this video. Write down your rough draft post and write out a week worth of posts with the format provided in the earlier slide about the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, based off this pain point and purpose. You don't have to constantly relive what happened to you, but if you are vulnerable and open enough to share it, you will help so many more people than you can even imagine. I know this sounds like a big action call, but guys, this is something that if you take the time to do this, it doesn't have to be all in one day. You know, you can space it out so you're not overwhelmed with it. This is going to set you up for awesome posts and you're going to connect to that person that you want to help more than anything. So that's all. I know it was a lot and I talked for like 50 minutes, but I hope that helped. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. You can type it in the chat box or unmute yourself.
That was amazing, Megan.
I feel like I talked for so long.
You did, but it was fantastic. Like every part of it is like, I feel like it's just so good to talk about that stuff. Because it brings out like that fire again. It brings out the passion and you kind of start to remember like why you started this whole thing in the first place.
Yeah.
I know for me it does. And so it's like really good to just kind of bring out those pain points. And so I hope everybody kind of agrees with that.
Yeah. And that's something actually my team and I did a live call and all I did was talk about, I asked them like 4 questions and I said, what got you in a Beachbody? I want you to go back and picture that. And the whole team was crying. It was really an emotional call. We were all like bawling. And it's hard when we get caught up in Success Club and rank advancement and elite and qualifying and all that stuff. And that's all awesome. At the end of the day, you can lose yourself in that stuff. And then you lose the sight of why you started this in the first place. So once a month, my team and I are going to like do a call like that and just get back to why we did this, you know?
I love that. I think we definitely need to do that. And it just helps you like bond as a team and just really get to know each other.
Yeah, for sure.
So Mandy was asking what time of day is best to post like the Transformation Tuesdays and like that kind of
It kind of depends on your network. So like I use my like page mostly, and so I just look at the analytics. So for me, like 10 p.m. is really good for some reason, or 9 p.m. But I know like some moms specifically, one of mine, she said 2 p.m. is really good for her. So if you're using your like page, you can look at your analytics, but you can also just kind of experiment if you know when your network is on. That's really when you want to post. So it's kind of different for each person. Sorry, it's not an exact answer. I wouldn't post at like 7 a.m. I've never seen anyone have much success with that, but I don't know, maybe people do. I just don't see it. Sarah, like that's something like I'm not good at doing it off the cuff, so I'm not going to say anything specific, but you just kind of hit the nail on the head. You don't have to necessarily say exactly what happened to you, but you can say how you felt and how you used food to cope with that. Like that is something, again, someone might not have had something so tragic happen to them, but I'm sure I know there are tons of people who've coped with things with food. That's a huge, I've done that, and that's a huge thing. I haven't had anything super traumatic happen to me, but I coped with a breakup with food 100%. And so if I saw your post and I saw that you're getting through coping with food because of Beachbody, and we can work on putting that into a post, I'd even reach out to you. And I didn't have that happen to me, you know what I mean? I hope that helps. But yeah, take some time, write out everything that you went through, and write out more like you're saying, the specific emotion and thing that happened based on what happened to you, like how you reacted, what you went through, and now how Beachbody has helped you get through that, how you feel now because of your community, your transformation, the health, the fitness, all that. Okay, cool. I wish I could do what Josh Coates does. When you guys watch it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, he's a magician. He literally would take that and like write this perfect post just off the cuff. I'm like, how do you do that? I can't do that. It's amazing. It's a true talent.
That's awesome. I definitely want him to do that for me.
I know. I was like, please. His list for one-on-one coaching is like 300 people long for his wait list. I'm like,
he's coming to our leadership retreat in Scottsdale next month.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we're excited about that.
That's awesome.
All right, you guys, does anybody else have questions? All right, well, I had amazing takeaways. Like that just brought up so many like good emotions good and bad emotions that I can share with people now. So I hope you guys kind of feel the same way. Thank you, Megan. That was incredible.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for taking time out of your Las Vegas weekend to talk to us. So
of course.
And she's going to send me all the.
I just did actually.
Okay, so I've got the slides so I can share those with you guys on our team page. So yeah, thanks again, and
awesome.
See you later. All right.
Yeah, thanks guys. Bye. Good luck with